Hi there, my name is Chance. This is my channel Smeltings. If you're new here, this is a channel where I like to share my ideas and thoughts about fragrances that I really like. This is a fragrance that I have actually worn a little bit this past week. This is Comme des Garçons 2. It's kind of hard to see. As you can see, it's got a very retro but also futuristic looking style bottle. I think it's a really awesome fragrance, and it really encapsulates the idea and the time frame when this fragrance was released in 1999. So what I like most about this fragrance isn't just the smell. Sure, it smells great. The top notes are very fresh, very clean. It almost comes off as a little bit unique and not so cookie cutter like, you know. This takes a completely different direction, I would say, for a fresh fragrance. Let me read off the notes because I think the notes actually matter with this fragrance. So, Comme des Garçons 2 is a Chypre floral fragrance for women and men. It was launched in 1999, and the nose behind this fragrance is Mark Buxton. Okay, so top notes are aldehydes, angelica, tea, mandarin, orange, and mate. Middle notes are ink, magnolia, nutmeg, West Indian bay, coriander, caraway, and cinnamon. Base notes are incense, patchouli, vetiver, cedar, amber, and labdanum. Okay, so let me also read this little quote, I guess, of what the fragrance is entailing. Comme des Garçons 2 is a play of light and shadows inspired by the Japanese art of calligraphy. The light side of the fragrance create new aldehydes, orange and mandarin and magnolia. The black side is ink. This unusual alliance is followed by the sharp oriental composition of patchouli, labdanum, amber, vetiver, Chinese cedar, and juniper. So I know sometimes descriptions don't really matter, but I feel like for this particular fragrance, it really lines up well with what they were trying to be and aspire. So right off the top, I get that really fresh, almost sweet smell, and it's very pleasant. Especially on paper, it smells just very clean and fresh. But there's this hint of a metallic tinge and maybe even a slight odor, and I think that's that ink mixed with that metallicness and then the florals. It's just combined. It's kind of a complex fragrance. So when I first sprayed this on skin, I remember thinking to myself, it almost smells like body odor. And not like stinky body odor, but it's just that slight, pungent, kind of off-putting, maybe like the sweat, the saltiness. There's that mineralistic character to it. I think it's that metallic nature of this fragrance that really just makes it feel dirty but clean at the same time. So almost as if you rubbed your hand on a metal railing and your hand will have a little bit of a remnants of that metallic nature, and it almost can smell dirty. That's kind of what I get 5 minutes after I spray this onto my skin. And that's honestly what makes this fragrance so interesting for me, is that it's not just a basic clean blue or green scent. It kind of creates this new twist in this. It's taking a contemporary view and reshaping what a fresh fragrance or a clean fragrance can be. And I guess that's kind of the whole brand's premise. Comme des Garçons is that they're an avant-garde brand, so they don't really fall within the lines of modern fashion ideologies. They kind of leave the meaning up to the viewer or the user. So I really like that, and I can really resonate with this brand. So I think that's why I really like this fragrance so much. I could see that it's maybe not the most mass appealing fragrance, but then again, that's also kind of why I kind of gravitate towards it, because it is such a unique fragrance. I mean, it's 27 years old now. It's almost 28 years old, and um, I think that's just unbelievable that a scent profile that's that old can still, hold up, and it almost feels futuristic. 1999, going into the new, what is it, millennium? I don't know the right terminology for it, but the year 2000, like that was a big deal. So 1999, it just embodies the kind of aesthetic of that time period, the late 90s. And yeah, so I really, really enjoy it. Scent profile wise, you can wear it year round. It's very clean, it's fresh. It's not the most long lasting fragrance. I get it around 5 to 6 hours. But you can wear it year round. I've been wearing it in 30-degree weather, which is, well, actually around 35-degree weather. It's around 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So, absolutely love this fragrance. And kind of the whole idea, or what it kind of makes me feel emotion wise, or what I can correlate this to is, it's kind of like that grungy or more modern, into fashion, and not into just designer fashion, but just into expressing themselves and living life to the fullest, going to raves or underground concerts and listening to techno music, or just experimental music. And this is kind of what that fragrance, I feel like, was trying to cater towards, is the more adventurous side of somebody, um, especially that European vibe, the German nightclub kind of scene, the techno, the hardstyle scene. Like, that is the vibe that this fragrance gives me. I don't know why, but it just gives me that vibe of like music and art, and kind of the whole brand gives me that vibe. But this fragrance in particular is one of my favorites from the line, and I think it's one of the most versatile fragrances, even though, yes, some people might not necessarily agree. I guess if your nose is, more used to the most generic scents, and that's not I wouldn't say that's an insult, but, the Bleu de Chanel, the YSL, um, what else? I can't even think right now. The Valentinos, um, the Prada, they all follow a very simple kind of scent profile, whereas this, it's just unique, and it just has a sort of um, unique characteristic that it adds a flair. It's fresh, but there's just something off-putting about it. And I think it's that ink note mixed with the florals, mixed with that metallic, and then you have a little bit of the patchouli. So there's just all kinds. It's all a lot of different aspects, but it's fairly linear fragrance. But man, it's a beautiful scent. I mean, just look at the bottle. It's absolutely amazing. Um, the number 2 almost looks as if it was drawn by a toddler, and I think that's what draws me most to this brand, is that they just aren't sticking to pleasing the masses, I guess you could say. I'm sure that they sell quite a bit if they're still producing this fragrance many years later. There is still a market for the fragrance department, but it just goes to show you that this brand almost falls more into like the niche, even though they're not a niche house. It's just they're not trying to create these generic, mass appealing fragrances. And me personally, I like all types of fragrances, but I do tend to strive, and I'm more attracted to wearing these, more kind of artistic style fragrances, and I guess more niche, but that have a meaning and a message kind of behind it, and you can associate sort of a time frame, or you can see the idea behind the scent more. So like when you're wearing it, you feel as if you're attached to something greater than just smelling good. But smelling good's great. I like to wear a lot of basic stuff as well, designers and whatnot. But lately I've just been on the kick of finding certain fragrances that really speak to me, and those just happen to be niche. Even though Comme des Garçons is not niche, it just, trust me, this doesn't smell like really anything you've ever smelled before. I can almost guarantee you that. But yeah, beautiful scent. I honestly give this a 9 out of 10. Exceptional. It smells amazing. Bottle design is timeless. I mean, it's just so cool, so unique. Pricing, yeah, it's a little expensive. I paid pretty much full retail price for this bottle. This was actually purchased off Lucky Scent. And a little side note, if you receive this fragrance, the newer batches likely aren't wrapped in tin foil. The box is very basic. There's not a lot of markings or information on the box. That's kind of the way Comme des Garçons runs, but I think they have moved away from their old style packaging, and now they packaged it with just kind of this sort of white paper around it. So I wouldn't be too concerned if you buy it from an authorized retailer. I purchased mine off Lucky Scent. I'm not affiliated with them or anything, but I live on the West Coast, so shipping from them it just makes sense. It's very quick. They're authentic. I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, absolutely amazing fragrance. They classify this as an avant-garde kind of, or I don't know, artistic niche style fragrance, but personally I think it's very more more along the lines of a mass appealing fragrance. I don't really see many people absolutely hating this, although I do see reviews on Fragrantica of people thinking that this smells very bad, or very like old, or not feminine, whatever. Sure, I think it might be a little masculine, but it's pretty unisex. It's not like hyper masculine or anything. So yeah, highly recommend checking this out. I guess one last thing too is that even though this fragrance is marketed towards, I don't know, the more fashionista or kind of archival style person, this almost also invokes a sort of naturalistic side as well. So it kind of reminds me of just being outside and just kind of walking through a open field with flowers, and maybe you're near the ocean. So on a final note, just don't be afraid of, trying something new. I know this brand's not like highly sought after, but I think this is a scent that it's worth trying at least once and sampling it at the very least. So yeah, amazing fragrance. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll definitely be posting some more content. I'm just trying to get my channel up and running, so please comment, like, subscribe. I'm just doing this as a way of expressing myself and my thoughts of fragrance, as I really am enjoying this kind of journey that I'm on right now. So thanks for watching. Have a good night.